We reached the market just after sunrise. The street leading to it was lined with small shops, most still shuttered and silent. The market itself was behind a wide metal gate, pulled down halfway, with dust and trash collected at the bottom. Faded signs above showed pictures of fruit and vegetables that once filled the stalls. Markets are supposed to be full of noise and life. Seeing one closed like this always feels unnatural. We approached from both sides of the street, using parked vans and vendor carts for cover. The road was narrow, and every sound echoed between the buildings. Even the scrape of our boots on the pavement seemed too loud. Our mission was to clear the market and secure the block. That half-closed gate created a blind entry, meaning we'd be stepping into a space we couldn't fully see. One teammate crouched low, carefully checking the interior. From where I stood, all I could see was darkness, cut by thin beams of sunlight piercing the metal roof inside. We lifted the gate just enough to slip through. The smell hit us first: dust, old fruit crates, and dry wood. Inside, the market aisles stretched out in straight lines, flanked by stalls filled with overturned boxes and empty tables. Pieces of tarp hung from the ceiling, swaying slightly. We spread out slowly, each of us taking an aisle but keeping sight of each other through the gaps between the stalls. The silence inside was heavier than it was on the street, almost like the tarps were absorbing all sound. I moved down the left row, stepping around broken baskets, my eyes fixed on a half-open storage doorway at the far end. Then the first shot came from above. It tore through a hanging tarp and hit a wooden table right beside us. We dropped into cover instantly, using the stall frames to protect ourselves while scanning the ceiling. A flicker of movement flashed across the metal support beams, hidden by tarps and wires. I leaned out from a fruit stand and fired controlled bursts toward the beams, forcing them to move. Another shot came from ground level, deeper in the market, near that same storage doorway. The angles overlapped, turning the aisles into dangerous channels with little cover. Radio calls were calm and direct. Hold aisles. Watch overhead. Maintain spacing. I shifted behind a stack of crates, peering through the gaps to watch the storage door. Dust floated in the sunbeams, making every movement hard to track. Gunfire echoed through the metal structure in sharp bursts. The tarps overhead trembled with each shot, shaking down more dust. Minutes felt like hours as we exchanged fire, the pressure shifting back and forth. Then the overhead shooting slowed. A moment later, we heard distant sounds from the roof, followed by impacts much closer to them than to us. The resistance from the ground floor faded soon after. One final burst came from the storage doorway, and then silence. We held up positions, scanning every beam, stall, and doorway before moving forward to clear the rest of the market. The stillness returned quickly when we finally lifted the gate and stepped back into the morning light. The street looked exactly as it had before. Quiet, still, almost ordinary. I glanced back one last time. Inside, empty stalls stretched to the far wall, waiting for voices and daily life. What stayed with me was how a place built for people can feel so empty. It made the silence feel even heavier than the noise that had just filled it.